All right, guys, thank you so much for showing up on time and bringing your data for the DAs. What we're going to talk about is the most recent DA that we had, and we're going to use it using the EAA protocol, the Evaluation and Evidence Analysis and Action Protocol. So we're just going to talk through it a little bit. So why is it important for our students to use this process? How students do their learning. Love that language, but why is it important that they understand the short answer response and are able to compare?
I feel like it's very important for them to be able to read and comprehend and understand the assertion of what they're trying to say that answers the actual prompt. Because my students, even though they're grade E, love to get off on tangents about things that might not always answer the prompt. And I'm like, keep it simple, get to the point, and being able to use your textual support and then your analysis. And sometimes the simplicity of it is over their head, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, in contrast to that, those of us that teach regular, so Murray's got to teach her kids how to consolidate ideas and to streamline. What issues are we running into?
I think this I was just going to say synthesizing like an idea from both.
Yeah.
I get a lot of focus on one, whichever one that they that spoke to them more. But I think just synthesize and see the comparison between the two.
Right. And then demonstrating their critical analysis skills and not just comprehension, so they can come up with their own claim and support their claim with logical evidence from the text. So they're not just writing based on their opinion.
Absolutely, and I think that, especially because what we are talking about with SLO is being able to inference with text evidence. So I think that that's a huge element of that, being able to bring them back always to the text evidence aspect. And then if we're looking at our gifted and talented kids with you guys, I think it's what is the best text evidence and how can they use that text evidence most thoroughly. So,
And a big thing that I've had to work with them is the discipline of planning their essay, because they can quite arrogant that they can just get it done
Yeah.
and have their free time because they think it's so easy.
yeah.
And actually getting them to brainstorm and write some of it out and rough draft it and then put it in the box.
Absolutely, and I think our kids have the same problem actually.
Yeah.
That they, not even that they're arrogant that they know how to do it, but they know to take it seriously. So, all important. And so we hit this one a little bit, why is it important for students to know this content? I think we hit both of those questions. So if we're looking at this, teacher name, Clendenin, we already talked about what looks like a developing, and since we have the nice 1, 2, 3, 4, total number of students, I have 110. So I had in this 45 developing students. Oh, that's true. No, I lied on that one. I had about 30 developing students. I had 25 progressing students. Oh, that's math now. And then I think I had about 20 proficient. And anybody want to do quick math for me? How many I have left? 35. 35? Great. Thank you for a lawyer. Excellent. All right. So, Melody, what were your numbers?
Okay, I have 120 kids,
Okay.
and I've got 60 developing, 20 progressing, 10 proficient, and 30 others.
30 minutes. Okay. Murray?
I don't really remember, but I know that I have 160 kids.
Okay.
And I had approximately, I would say, maybe 40 developing. I mean, developing, I'm so sorry.
That's the lowest one.
That's
I
the
know.
lowest.
I did it to myself too.
Yeah, that goes on the other end of
Okay,
the spectrum. That goes, I would say 40, and then I would say almost 40 there too, in proficient.
Okay.
And then the progressing, because that's, I don't know, I don't like that I don't have
The solid numbers.
in front
Okay.
of me.
That's totally fine.
You're-
We can always
I'm
circle back
fudging you
around.
right now, I don't know.
That's fine. We can always circle back around. That's not a problem.
You're gonna come back to me?
Yeah. We'll circle because really just what we need to talk about this next part is what we noticed in our kids. So what is our evidence in our kids that we're successful with, in our advanced kids? What is our success criteria? What did they do well? Why were they successful? And how can we move those kids forward? And then we're gonna look at our proficient kids. What barriers did they come across? What were their issues that they came across? And how can we address those challenges? So really, it's not so much about having the numbers. We can always put the numbers in later. It's more just knowing what your kids did and did well. So if we're gonna look at, let's always start with proficient. I think proficient is one of the easiest ones because then we're always gonna build from proficient. We're gonna go up to advanced and then go down to progressing. So what were things that we noticed that our kids struggled with proficiency?
The struggle areas, actually, mine they weren't quite able to pull text evidence from both pieces that were solid and evidence that could actually support the claim they're trying to make.
Okay.
Like they did have a thesis statement, and they did have textual evidence, but they weren't quite clear in the choice of evidence.
The cohesion.
Right.
is lacking.
Right.
And so what do we think we can do in our classrooms from here on out that we can maybe practice that skill so that we can raise those proficients to advanced?
We could probably provide them with more text to read, and then just kind of practice that, choosing the text carefully, and what claim are you making and what text actually supports your claim, and not necessarily just any random quote that you pull from the text. Just a little bit more practice with crossing text.
And if we're looking at our curriculum, what's coming from our curriculum, it is 4 to 9 weeks is going to be a novel based. So does anybody have an idea of a good novel that we can pull for them and use that we think would be good text wise?
Like right now, we're reading Great Expectations.
Okay.
And they are doing Let's Circle groups. And each person has a task, and in the task that they have to have a quote, and they have to talk about the quote, but they're doing it from different angles of being a character analysis or theme analysis, and teaching them that the quote that they pick is derivative of the analysis that they're providing.
We can probably